So good evening, welcome to the Donny Chaingang. We're down in the studio once again, and we're going to be bringing you the third, yes, 3 in 1 week, Donny Chaingang. None of this once a week malarkey for us, we've just had it all the time. Russ and I have been busy today, as per usual. Lots of emails going out, lots of kit going out to everybody, and of course we've been doing a little bit of homework for tonight, because if you were watching last night, you will know that at one point the numbers didn't add up from the tech that we had to the answers that we have now, and that made things a little bit interesting as we went round the circuit. We called it, and I think if we'd have called it slightly differently, we might have had people finishing off screen. So we'll see just what's going to happen tonight. If Russ and I's maths, which is never my strong point and might be Russ's, goes to plan, we're going to have this absolutely nailed on, and it's going to be superb. Given that it's fast anyway because of where we're at, this could be entertaining. Some quick housekeeping notes, guys. From the off, we need you to stay together. It's really important. That was one of the lessons from yesterday. You've got to keep it together. If you don't keep it together, this could become very pear-shaped very, very quickly. The other thing is, of course, look after each other. We saw lots of groups forming yesterday, and that's, again, something that we need to happen this time around. And, of course, we do need you to join the DCG gang, because that is how we keep the wheels rolling on the Red Party Bus, on the wagon, on the broadcast, and everything else that's going out to you guys, and how we can keep on improving. Hopefully one of the things that you're seeing is that the current average time, like on the show now, is down to about 1.5 seconds. So literally, we record it, we process it, we send it out into the internet, it goes to YouTube, it gets processed, mixed back together again, sent back out to you. Your computer reprocesses it and puts it on your screen, hopefully in 1.5 seconds. If you're anything longer than that, in theory it's your internet, not ours. We've been working very hard to keep that down. I've got to say a big thank you to Tim Cooper, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the drone will be flying. It was working literally 3 seconds ago, and about 3 minutes ago, and about 30 minutes ago, and in fact we've been checking it all day long. So the drone cam in theory will be back, which means that I actually can see exactly what's happening as well. We're going to go over to Russ, because I think Russ hopefully is now warmed up. He's had a busy day heading out and round all over the place. Russ, can you hear me?
I put my handlebars back.
He's back here. How are you doing, Russ? You all right?
I'm alright, mate, yeah, just busy typing away, copy and pasting. But now looking forward to this one, like I heard you saying there, we had a bit of a mare last night with distances and things, but we've spoke with the guys from Zwift today and had a little tweak and a play and another recon, and we should be good. We should be doing 8 laps in. The leading is about 4.2, 4.3k, depending on how your internet's running, I think. But should be fun.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And I think last night really showed that. We had riders between 4.2 and about 4.5 as they hit the line for the first time, which is the green monument sprint line. And then, of course, from there on in, it varied again. So we were getting people with well over a K difference at the end, and that's to do with internet speed, processor speed, and how fast you're riding as well. So it does make a big, big difference. Your job tonight is going to be entertaining, because you've got a lot of fast riders in there. I've been keeping an eye on who's joining, and we've got a real mix of riders once again.
My job's always entertaining, mate. But yeah, so it should be roughly a 5k lap there tonight, and so yeah, do the maths. We both joke about our maths aren't a strong point, but 8 laps at 5k, so we should be finishing about 45k-ish with the lead-in, so, just pay attention and sprint for the green banner that's closest to her 46k. You should be right.
Fingers crossed it all works out. It should do. It's always fun when it's a new course, and anybody who's been with us a while will know that. Anyone who's been with us a while will also know that we've had a good year so far in 2021 with giveaways, and next month is looking pretty awesome with what are going to be 3 great giveaways for members of the DCG gang. We've got OTE to kick it off the first week in March. Right in week number 3 we've got a great big giveaway with Velo Skin, and then on the very last day pretty much of March we've got Halo wheels, which is goodbye winter, hello spring. So that's going to be entertaining, because Halo always with a good giveaway as well, and lots of offers as well for the DCG gang members. And it's great to see so many people joining.
Yeah, pretty packed there in March. We're going to kick it off with a bang. With OTE coming in, and then drawing Swifty's jersey competition right about the same time.
Yep.
I think you're going to need a week off of just riding a bike, and like you said, and Veloskin have kindly come on board, which is great to have them on board and supporting the gang. And then Halo wheels.
Yeah, hello spring, goodbye winter. Hopefully by that stage we'll see, and plenty more to come after that, of course. And we will obviously be making sure all of our riders on the Chaingang keep on getting the update emails and all of the links that come out direct. It's how you can support the gang and make it run, and help Russ and myself. And I think to help Russ, we'd better let him go and put some instructions into people's heads on the screen.
I'll try, mate.
Well, we'll catch up with you if your legs go pop before the end, and if not, hopefully have a chat by sometime before the very finish.
Yeah, ring me after about 4 laps, and I'll be definitely popping by then.
Yeah, don't tempt me. See you soon, Russ.
Yeah, mate.
So great to hear from Russ there, and the tunes already going with Russ. I know plenty of people got the tunes going at home. Let's show you where we're heading tonight. We've got a great course. We've wanted to do this for a while, like most of the courses, to be honest. On Swift, we always want to get the chain gang to them. So let's show you what Fan Flats looks like. Fan Flats is a ride tonight. It's 46k in total. Our leading is 4.6. We've got 8 laps, as Russ says, which according to VeloView is 5.1k. According to Swift is 5k. The leading varies from 2.4 to about 4.8, depending on who you believe. So if we take it as 4.6k and we have 5.1 as the lap, and we do 8 laps of it, by the maths, we should finish at the Monument Banner at 45.4k. Now, it might be a bit sooner. It might be at 45k. But it all depends on how the tickers on people's screens are going. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting system, and we're going to see whether it works. We've got our lap counters to knock off. It's not an abacus, but it's pretty close here in the studio. Now, Russ is, of course, our yellow beacon, following on from Emma yesterday on the Women's Wednesdays. But our red beacon tonight, it is Chris Ball, and Chris has got a multi-story bus tonight because he's going to need it. It is going to be quick. It's all about holding wheels tonight. The moment the wheels go, you're going to be out the back, and you're going to need a group to jump in with. Now, let's show you where this runs, because as you can see from the map, it's a relatively straightforward panhandle type course. So you go from the start line, which is the green banner, down the handle, around the section of the pan, and then back up the long straight. Really straightforward, really simple. Anyone can do this, honest gov. However, what makes it a little bit more twitchy is the profile. So let's show you that profile, courtesy of VeloViewer, fantastic partners of the Donny Chaingang, and the guys at VeloViewer did an amazing job. Pro Tour tools for use by you if you join up and sign up for membership. And the fan flats with the drop down, you can just see it's a slightly steep tail end to it, into the drop, into the end of the handle, into the shovel, and then back up the long straight once again. Maximum decrease is about 3%. Maximum increase in gradient is about 2%. And as you can see, 8 lots of 13 makes 104 metres, one of the flattest courses we are going to use. Now, looks like the riders are just making the way out of the pens onto the circuit. So let's join them live now. And as you can hear, the riders up and riding out, and the group just starting to form. We're going to drop up above the beacon, so you can see we're just heading out from the pens, and we're going to be heading in towards the start area. And let's take a little bit of a check-in with the guys out on course, and looking like the group are moving quite nicely at the moment. Let's get up in the sky. Let's test the drone cam. Is it working? Oh, it is. Okay, so this is the standard UCI lap banner. We're going to go past this. We don't need this. This runs us in towards the course. Remember, guys, the aim of this is to keep the group together. There is 100 riders on your screen at any one time, and this is where we get to see how the riders are going. Top right hand side of your screen is the map, and you can see from that that's sort of rolling along nicely. Now, our red beacon is Chris Ball, so let's jump in with Chris and just take a quick look at Chris's jersey. This is the man who's going to be driving the red bus today, and nice goggles as well. It looks like he's come equipped for a little bit of dirt off from those cobbles, and Chris all ready to go. Red bike, red jersey, good colour coordination, setting the standard I think there, and looks like he's moving along nice and smoothly. Most of our riders by the look of it up and riding as we start to make our way down and out. At the moment we're still on the run in. If we take it to the zoomed out map, we're going to make our way down and along the long panhandle straight, and we're going to take ourselves out to the course proper. Remember, of course, a 4.6k run. Now, Russ is a little bit further up the road, so let's take a little bit of a jump up through the bunch to get us up there, and then we're going to, once we get in towards where Russ is, we're going to jump into our big screen and show you just what everybody is up to. Not always the easiest thing to do when there are so many riders out on course, but this gives you an indication of just how busy it is out there, and hopefully everybody playing the game and sitting with Russ. So we're in with Russ now, and just watching Russ in the leading group make his way through. So let's jump onto our big screen and bring you the action here on the Donny Cycling YouTube channel with me and Matt Payne. So as you can see, the leading bunch just starting to make its way in and through, and looking at the moment pretty smooth as these riders head out along the course, just getting up above Russ. And Russ in yellow socks, yellow Pinarello, and choosing a disc wheel today, which is the fastest setup. So remember, guys, the aim today is to stay somewhere between the yellow and the red. Russ at the moment ticking along at 157, and you just see that red beacon actually is not all that far behind at the moment, and that's a good sign that everybody has got out of the gate. Let's try and jump back in with Chris. Here is Chris, and just going to take a little look behind. I think he's literally got a single rider, solo solitary rider behind him at the moment. Oh, there we go. And speak of the devil, it's one of our Bikes and Beers riders. It is going to be Seven, who is out there now. There's one or two late joiners just coming. It looks like James of Chefrek just joining. This is what you don't usually get to see, and looks like Buzzard just joining in on the push in towards the start. Mr. Brooks just jumping in, so if you're a late starter you can jump back in. If you've had tech issues, don't forget to get in. Chris, of course, running the bus today, and I think he's going to be just grabbing everybody together just as we run down. Now we're on the course, and we're heading down towards where the main section, the main join is. It is actually on this panhandle, and you'll see the green band on the opposite side of the road as we come back towards it. But Chris, our red beacon, looking pretty smooth there. Even got red highlights on the wheels. So very good colour coordination indeed. And looks like a Seven just behind there. That's Jim Seven. So Jim just needs to push onto that back wheel of Ball. That will then give him a pretty smooth ride. There's still Foxy just joining, so looks like Foxy going to have to do a bit of a push up to the front here. So Foxy, one of our regulars on the Chaingang, again some nice deep wheels there. Just going past Jim Seven, so I think Chris just backing off the pace, just seeing his watts per kilo drop down, and as we watch Foxy just chasing the back of the bunch. So the bunch needs to hold fire for the moment, because we've got a few people just joining late who are going to make their way on. And as you can see, the cobbles are on here, and our riders just coming in past the monument and past the church that signals the right hand turn on the run back through. And at the moment, Foxy riding very nice pink Pinarello there, and certainly looking the business. Just in front you just see Mr. Crapper just pushing on towards the front. Looks like Alfie Atherton again just joining and pushing in. Just in front it's going to be Cookie, but the back of the main bunch currently at 13 seconds, and Foxy really is going to have to find someone to work with this. She's going to push on. Foxy, of course, one of our regular riders. Let's just jump into the back of that bunch with Craig Herring. see the it's looking to me like this group are moving along quite quickly. This is the back of the main bunch. Let's take a little look at the side view of Craig. Not going to get much of a shot from there. Let's see if we can take a look back. This is looking back from Craig, who's just rolling around in the back of that group. If we take the cam up in the air, get it right through everybody. It's an amazing cam. This, it can fly right through human bodies. A bit like American passport control, really. So Craig moving along quite well here. This is where we're going to come in towards that U-turn, and we're going to see the riders coming across in the opposite direction. Remember, it's all about keeping this together. Time for some OTE for me. That's quite simply because it's been 3 days on the mic, so there's going to be a few pauses whilst I rehydrate, I think, at the moment. So it looks to me like one or two gaps just starting to form at the front of the group in front of Russ. We're just rolling in with Craig Herring. This is the run down in towards the finish line. We're going to be there. Remember, it is 8 full laps from now, so going through the start line very shortly for the first of them. As you can already see, plenty of people, 63 riders through so far, and Russ rolling in now 125. You can just see the ticker on the sprint line going through. 165 as Russ goes underneath the gantry, and looks to me like homegirl Joe Jarvis is already ticking along quite nicely. And we say that because apparently Joe Jarvis used to live pretty much on the circuit, and it was just around the corner, so a bit of reminiscing for Joe, I'm sure, out on circuit. Let's have a run through some of our regulars. Now, we've talked about what a fantastic month we've got coming up on the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, and this man is one of the key people going to be helping making that happen. Chris Iredale is here, and Chris just taking a drink. No saddle sores for this man, because Fella Skin, one of our partners here on the Donny Chaingang, and Chris are going to be making sure that the Chaingang members are well looked after. And we've got a great giveaway from Chris, and of course discount codes as well coming from Fella Skin next month in March. Don't forget, there are plenty of discount codes if you're a February member, but they will all change at the end of the month. Some of our supporters will be taking a break. Some of them, the discounts levels are changing. Vela Skin, like some of our new ones, just coming on board. So make sure, guys, that if you need anything, you're going to get hold of it. Remember, of course, we've got OTE who are going to be giving a load of goodies away, and that is going to be the first week in March, Velaskin the third week in March, and then we are going to have the very last one in March running into April. That is going to be Halo Wheels. So remember, guys, make sure you join the gang. £20 for 1 month's membership, and of course, if you're a member and you join before the end of February, we are going to close the entries to the competition to get hold of Ben Swift's National Champs jersey, and that will close at 10 a.m. on Monday the 1st of March. Any memberships you have by then are going to count, and it's one entry into the draw for every month that you're a member of the DCG, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, and of course maximum of 12, because that is the total number for one of our yearly members, and we've got to say a massive thank you to them. We're certainly not going to disadvantage them in the draw. In fact, they're definitely going to have a full 12 entries in, which is the maximum in that draw. That draw is likely to happen the weekend after the OTE draw. So OTE first of all with our first week, the OTE week, then Ben Swift's jersey being drawn at the weekend, possibly on the Monday after that. Then it's going to be our Women's Wednesday, which is Innsbruck Ring. Then we're going to go from there on to the next draw which will be Velaskin week. Then we're going to go on to another women's week during the middle of the week, which will be from memory RGV, but a special RGV version. Then we're going to go from there to Halo Spring. And it is goodbye winter, hello spring, and of course Halo, one of our key sponsors right from the word go here on the Chaingang. So going to be a really busy week. You want to be part of the gang, be in it to win it, and make sure that you join up. The links on the Facebook page, on the Donny Chaingang.com pages, and of course lots of our riders already members. A massive thank you guys, but please do remember, if you've just joined for February, your membership will run out and you will need to renew to get all of the links direct to your inbox. One of the big advantages of being a member of the DCG gang is that we bring you all of the links directly to your inbox. You don't have to go searching for them, you don't have to go hunting for them, you don't have to go looking for them. They're all in there and they come directly to you in your inbox, and you can join those really early on, and that is absolutely key for a lot of our riders. So please guys, make sure that you remember to do that, and then that way we can make sure that we bring you all of the details as soon as possible, and we get you on the ride as early as possible. And of course we can keep on bringing you lots of great coverage, because that is really important too. Now we are just going to have a little bit of a hunt through here for our riders. I'm just taking a quick check on Andy James of Chef Rec, because Andy James looking like he made it into this group. Yeah, Andy making the junction and getting into the pack here. Good to see Andy able to get back in. I'm just going to take a look at Chris, our red beacon, to see where Chris is. Looks like the bus starting to form already, and that is going to be Miss Cookie on here. What a surprise. Cookie, who was riding yesterday on the women's Chaingang, now out and riding on here. 192 watts, 147 beats per minute. Just riding quite nice and smoothly there by the look of it. 87 revs per minute, and it looks like this group is going to be a little bit bigger fairly shortly. I think Foxy just coming into the grasp of this group here. So it is going to be Foxy and Ball, Cookie and Butcher in the group. Let's just jump in with Butcher. Cookie, of course, one of our great members of the DCG gang. Butcher just been picked up here, and Brian Butcher in with the group here. So it looks like Butcher joining in. A big thank you to Mac Riley, who had offered to be our beacon today, because he had to do a steadier ride, and not needed today because Chris was on there. If you want to take your turn as being the red beacon, you need to jump on the Facebook page, get in touch with Gail Phillips. Gail with the rotor stretching out for a while, but it's really interesting to see just how much fun people are having being the beacon. So at the moment the bus is Cookie, Foxy, Butcher and Ball, and in front it is going to be Potter, and I think Potter is going to be the next rider who is going to see our riders on the way in and around. Meanwhile, the front of the group a little bit further ahead, and looks like Matt Winston at the moment is just a little bit off the pace, not like Matt at the moment, currently sitting at 8.6k or 330 watts, pushing on at nearly 4 watts per kilo, trying to get onto the back of the group. You can see the lap line on the way through. So remember, we had 8 laps to go last time round. It's 7 laps to go as we hit the line this time, and these riders are looking good. It does pay to have at least the commentary in your ears to know exactly how many laps you've got left on the days that I can actually count. That's always a bonus. So at the moment it looks to me like Matt Winston is going to be the rider who has got his work cut out to get onto the bunch. You can see just how fast that is moving as these riders come around and through. Remember guys, if you are wanting to get set a fast time, you need to be in the bunch to do so. You're not going to do it on your own, you won't do it off the front, you'll only do so when you are in the bunch and going from the bunch through. So you need to be from the bunch going forwards. Remember, of course, you're only going to see 100 riders on your screen at one time, and at the moment it looks like Russ is currently just distanced a little bit from the back of the group here, and I suspect that is just because of the volume of riders who are out and about out on course at the moment. The red beacon coming the opposite way, currently looking like they're about a minute or so down. We're going to just double check on that. I suspect they're going to be nearer the 156. Looks like Jim 7 is possibly our last rider out on course, which would put him at about 158 down. Let's jump in with Russ. And as we predicted, the group varies depending on where you are, and Russ sat in this group, and of course we're going to focus on the riders behind Russ, or with Russ, as we always do. And we're going to be keeping our eye out for our fantastic members of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG Club, because they're the guys who keep the show on the road and basically mean that everybody can enjoy the ride. Without their support, we would come to a grinding halt. So it looks like Jimmy Allen in this group. Let's take a little bit of a look at Jimmy. How smooth is Jimmy today? Usually one of our really fast riders on the breakaway. Does rely on a few hills. At the moment, I think he's just so packed into the bunch, we're going to struggle to get a good view. Let's see if we can get up above him. Jimmy in the Mondrian style kit, which is the La Vie Claire style kit, if you remember the 90s, and certainly look at 80s and 90s, looking good at the moment, and sat basically around the yellow beacon at the moment. Plenty more riders in there. Looks like John Smith in there, Sam Emsley's in there, Naps in there, Booze in there, Thorpe in as well. Booze in this group. It really is a busy pack in here. Rich Orrell, one of our main men when it comes to the DCG gang, rolling up here just nicely, pushing on as he makes his way around that corner there, and Orrell at the moment looking like he's going to keep it nice and smooth. Let's take a little bit of a jump through the rest of this group. Darren Topless in here. Looks like Andy Wolf from Matlock in the group. Keith Richardson in here, just try and get in with Keith, just see what Keith is riding in today. Keith, again, another of the riders that we always keep an eye on. So Keith, one of the men who has brought loads of people into the gang, a massive thank you to you as well. Just seen Andy Hawes just flick past as well. Horsey, definitely one of our key supporters. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, I think our red beacon working well on his way around. So we've been talking with our members on the previews about riders and the sort of riders to keep an eye on the way out and around the circuit. Now, one of those riders is Gareth Mason. Mason definitely one of the riders that we know is going to be in with a shout. Not exactly the smallest rider profile on the course, it has to be said, and Mason definitely one of the riders we know is going to be quick out on this circuit. We'll see whether or not Gareth is the man we need to watch out for a little bit later on. Now let's jump across through a few more of our riders here, as this bunch behind Russ just sitting in the wheels, working well just around the bottom, the lowest part of the circuit, up onto that 2% climb here. So it looks like at least one rider just not making the left-hand turn at the bottom, worse than a fourth cat after 2 seasons on Zwift, and not getting any practice at going round corners, not making the junction. Just good to see Jacob pushing in. Jacob, another member of the DCG gang, a Downey cycling coached rider as well, and one of the guys we know is going to be in at the kill, and took the scalp, if I'm not much mistaken, of a certain Michael Hutchinson out on course, and good to see he's working well at the moment. So Bush riding strongly in this group, looking good at the moment. We're going to just jump up in the air. Let's get a look from the helicopter at the minute. So Bush looking smooth, the camera tracking him coming in and around. Certainly looks to me like this group is running well as we go on to the cobbles here, heading down around. This is going to be 6 laps to go as they hit the green this time round. Even Russ relatively quiet at the moment. Looks like Hall in this group. We're going to just drop back to where Russ is, and you can see he's pretty busy out there. Looks like Gagan in this group now. Just seen Lloyd in here. Now, is this Megan or Manon? That is the question. It's Morgan. We've got about 4 M Lloyds in the group. Struggling with horse riders. So just keeping an eye at the moment. This is Morgan just running along here. We're going to take a little bit of a check out. Driver in here. We know he's one of our quick riders. Steed in here. John Wild now. John Wild, one of our more senior riders, but definitely one of our very quick riders. Just the other side here of Tristan. Let's drop our camera out and around. John going to be coming into that turn very shortly indeed as we go rattling through the suburbs here on the fan flats. Once we go round that turn, that is when things get a little bit more interesting at the moment. Just about everybody holding on to this group as we go along here. Just going to drop back through this group a little bit. A little bit too far there. We're going to try and keep in with Mr. Riley on the back of this group. I think this is going to be pretty tight. So here we go, the riders on the way out and around the side there, just looking super smooth, and it is a few gaps that we're starting to see open. This is Smith just on the back here, and Smith needs to close these gaps up here. You can see pushing at 2.2 watts per kilo as they go in towards the gantry here, and it's going to be 6 laps to go at this point. And just a little bit of information for Russ here as our rider goes through. We expected that to be at 14.4. That's 14.7 with 6 laps to go at the moment. So looks like the laps are probably just a fraction longer than planned. It does vary. This might sound really crazy, but if you look at your screens, you'll see a variety of distances for riders who are all at about the same time. Anywhere at the moment from 15.4 right the way to 14.8, and that is because the speed of your process and the speed that you're moving will all affect the speed and distance that shows up on screen. That is really tricky when you're trying to work out exactly how many laps you can squeeze in. So here we go. It is going to indeed be a close call. Russ just telling us it is going to be a little bit tight out there, and as we go on to these cobbles, we're going to just take a little bit of a drop up. This is the right hand turn post sprint line as we're going to come around here. Just riding in with Smith. We don't want to drop too far in front of our yellow beacon, so let's just drop back through this group to find young Mr. Downing. I'm allowed to say that because he's actually just fractionally younger than me, not by much. So just in with Steve James from Hope Factory Racing. Steve in the green there, just pushing on. Steve, of course, a cross and mountain bike national standard rider, very comfortable as well in this group. And Russ just claiming to be very young like me. Mate, I'm not young. I definitely don't feel it after this week. One man who is young Thomas Cropper. I just tried to get hold of him on screen. Let's see if we can find him. Easier said than done. Here we go. No, we missed him. We're just riding in with Thomas. It shows you just how fast this is moving. We'll go in with Craig Enther. Craig, a Donny Chaingang member, just there in the grey, a Donny Chaingang support of the DCG gang, are critical to the Donny Chaingang survival. Basically, without them, we cannot make the gang work. Great to see them working so well together at the moment. So looking good at the moment. The aim here is to keep everybody together. And look at this, you can just see as they coming along the side. Russ here. It looks like Dave Hodgkinson in here. Carl Kapinski, another Chaingang member. And of course, Carl, a fantastic artist. Great to see Carl's artwork being used to good effect. If you don't know what we're talking about, get yourselves onto Google. Go get yourselves a look at some of the artwork done by Carl. A supporter of the Chaingang, lucky enough to ride with Carl on some of our early tests with the Downing group on the Donny Cycling Club Run, and certainly it looks at the moment like Carl Kapinski back to his best. A talented rider, a talented artist as well. So you can just hear this dropping down at the moment. And at the moment this group are working well all together. So it looks like this group are riding well together here. Mr. James in here. The guys are working with Andy Bishop in the group. Just seen Bennett, one of our guys who have been supporting us in the DCG gang in here. Just riding with Bennett at the moment. Rich Orrell in this group as well. Just steadily working away through the riders in here. I think I've just seen Sonia Inslee just riding through in this group. Looks like the bunch is holding together well at the moment. I suspect that the moment it goes pop, it's going to go very, very pop indeed, because it's going to be really quick. Andy Singleton in the group here, and Andy, one of our red beacons, or a regular red beacon, just riding in. Still got that red jersey. Let's jump in with our real red beacon today. See if we can find him now. Of course, easier said than done at the moment. By the look of it, it is pretty busy out there. So just seeing the fat cyclist concern he's doing, he's disappearing. Actually, don't worry, mate, you're not disappearing. It's more to do with the fact that I am struggling to physically get you fast enough with the keyboards and with the screen to cover you, because the base is so hot. It's absolutely nothing to do with the ability of your legs to stay with everybody, or your internet to hold it together. Now looks like Patterson and Davis and Carling at the moment in trouble just at the back of this group. So Carling at the moment just sat at the back. Looks like Dan Coleman has gone back again. That man needs a definite medal this time around. Just in with Rob Carling as he's pushing along here in towards that U-turn. Now Carling's now got company. He's got Davis from the cystic fibrosis team just in front. So these two riders now are working together, and two riders out on course. So let's keep an eye. Can they get themselves back in touch? If you take a look at the map of the top right hand side of your screen, you're going to see, if we zoom in, it is well and truly fracturing out there. There are riders between Russ and behind Russ, who at the moment are fighting for position. And as you can see, if we zoom in on the two guys here, it looks like Pattison is at 6 seconds up the road. Jump in with Pattison, who's already gone round this corner. He can see in front the riders, you just see behind. I think he's going to see Davis and Carlin coming round that turn. So here we go, underneath the gantry for the yellow beacon. It's 5 laps to go now. So we're going to sit in. I think we're going to move up just in with Grant at the moment, because Grant, one of our Donny Chaingang members, coming up towards the line, and he goes through. He's going through at 20.5k, so that's a full k in front of where we expected him to be. It is indeed, Russ, going to be very tight indeed to see what lap we're going to go on. If people are watching their screens, they're going to be able to see what that does to the distances. As we're now starting to get groups formed, it looks like John Smith, Mark Grant in there, just in front, a little bit of a group of forming around Joe Munden. So this is Munden at the moment, and it looks like Munden and Kuzak in here as well. Looks like at least one of the Bolsover riders in here as well, and I think this is John Paul Wheater it is. So John Paul Wheater being chased here by Munden, and then Kuzak, and the gap has just opened up, and that is going to give them a little bit of damage at the moment, because they're going to have to work incredibly hard to close that gap down. Cornish is just in front. Here's Cornish, and Cornish can see that gap going out as well at the moment. So Cornish at the moment making it to 20.7 before the elastic is starting to get stretched. In front of him you just see Colin Bell just up there, and Bell is working hard. I think it is going to be Bell, and look at this, Cornish pushing on here to try and make his way up, just going past Hopkinson, and Hopkinson has just seen Cornish go, so Cornish just about to make contact with the back of the group. This now next little group here pushing on, and it looks to me like Beefy is working well at the moment. So let's see if he can keep pushing the boundaries and keep on going, because this is going to get really tough. The Barnsley Barrel's in here as well, so the Barnsley Barrel working hard. Berry just going backwards a little bit at the moment. John Paul Wheater working hard, and it looks at the moment like Chris Ball has got the gang in action at the back. The bus just about to go around the turn, so it's going to be Ball, Foxy, Butcher and Cookie in this group. SR68 just a little bit further back. He's going to be able to see that red beacon coming round the corner, and we can just see the beacon going on the other side of the road at the moment. So the beacon goes in one direction, as it looks to me like SR68 trying to close down on the back wheel of Butcher. Butcher needs to push on here. Don't let that gap go to more than 6 meters. The draft is absolutely critical. Cookie and Foxy are together, and if we take a little bit of a look back, you can just see at the moment Butcher pushing on behind this group. Now up in front, I think it's going to be Daniel. Right, it's going to be Riley just here. Sorry, it's going to be Riley just in front, and then it's going to be McNeil. McNeil again, another of these riders just having to fight for position. Meanwhile, the bunch is up in front, and let's have a little bit of a look, see who is in that bunch. We're just trying to get in to the group at the moment, and you can see it is absolutely being smashed to pieces at the back of the main bunch behind Russ. So just keeping an eye on our riders as they go through. Looks like 1 or 2 riders being distanced off the back. They're not taking the turn. What will happen is that they will get spat back in and behind this group and pulled back into where they would be. And it looks to me like this is going to be a real push on if they need to get in. Hard, pushing on hard here. Looks like Hilbert, you can see they're magically flying through at low watts per kilo. And that is because the aim is pushing them back to where they should be before it pushed them out round the corner. So if you get pushed out on a corner and you weren't intending to, you will find that you get shoved out backwards and pushed out of the way. So here we go, coming up to 22.5k or so at the moment. Jarvis just trying to work away onto the back of the bunch. Let's jump in with Lone Rider, who I think is possibly going to be right on the back of this group. So Lone Rider holding it in. It is super fast on here, and there is plenty of difference. It's good to watch. Everybody's watching the kilometres tick by. Right hand side of the screen, top of your screen varied on the way round. You wonder why we all have, from Russ and I, to scratch our heads, and I've got to have very little hair left. There's a reason I've got this hat on. That is for sure. So, whilst the guys push it on, I'm going to grab a quick slurp of my Grand Tour coffee and just keep all right on the back of the bunch. So that was an espresso rather than, well, it was quadruple espresso actually, rather than a latte. I think if it was a latte, we'd have missed far too much on the way round. Our riders continuing to push on here, just in within Brooks. And at the moment, the cobbles are incredibly noisy. We knew that they were going to be on the way through, and it is a part of the game here. So looks to me like it is going to be interesting. Remember, the green banner is the finish. We're tracking around with these riders. Let's take a look. This is a long string behind Russ now. It's going to be very entertaining to see whether we're going to make these kilometres. We're riding in, and as you can see, they are all over the shop tonight. So let's see how this goes. Remember, the green banner is the finish. The only gantry out on course today, and as you can see, it really is strung out now as the pace is picking up. This ramped workout really starting to take its effect on the riders. So we are at 4 laps left to go, and we're seeing PRs being set all the way around here as these riders are certainly feeling the pace. Just going to take a little bit of a hunt in here. So just keeping an eye on the group, just riding in with Gagan at the moment, and Claire Gagan, one of our regular top finishers in the open event, looking like she's sitting in a good group here. Is this group going to be able to stay together? They should do, but can they get themselves up to that leading group? That's going to be a big ask at the moment. Now we're just going to see what those gaps are. You can just see Brooks pushing on here. Johnson's group here keeping the pressure on. We're going to drop in with Darren Topless almost in with the yellow beacon here. Looks like Stephen Dutton the same. James, who is working hard to get in with the group, just on his way through. Looks like Jacob Bush sat in this pack and just sitting at the back of this. This is what is left of the yellow beacon group. So the yellow beacon group working hard here to try and stay with Russ. The back of that pack really is compressed up now as they try and sit in with the yellow beacon. Russ is in there. It's good to see Dave Fletcher back in with us again. Mr. Thorne is in here. Good to see you, mate. And yeah, everything's working well at the moment. And we are just going to try and find a certain Mr. Downing. Let's see where he is. He's a little bit further up. There are faster ways to get there, but they don't always work, and today is definitely one of those days. Let's see if we can catch up with Russ somewhere up near the very front of the group. Here we go. So here we have, it is Russ Downing up near the front. Dan Coleman. Now, Coleman is the man who was out there keeping an eye on the riders at the back, helping them come up to the front. It looks like Chris Dale's in here. It looks to me like we've got a number of our fast women in this group as well, because it looks to me like Coldclough is in here. Joey Walker's in once again. Is it going to be Walker's day for the sprint? Well, we're going to have to thin this group down if we've got any chance of calling it, and I think this is still a big pack. We're not over the 100 mark here because we're not seeing riders drop off the back or the front of the pack, and that is what would happen. So Rob Copeland just at the moment just rolling through with that pack. Good to see Rob back on the Chaingang, mate. I hope to see you down the climbing wall. 12th of April are back open, hopefully. And look at this power it's going in. This is the steepest part of the hillside, and Russ has picked the only uphill section here to give it the go. Now let's see what Russ does. Can Russ move his way up through this group? We're just riding up above Russ now. He's engaged the afterburners here. He's at 10.1 watts per kilo on that kick up. He's trying to make his way up to the front of the group, and he's gone right to the very front there. That massive kick has taken him right the way through, and he's now on with the front group. But what are they going to do? Are they going to respond to this? Let's jump in with Joey Walker. Joey will have his flat cap on. Here's Joey, and Joey sat in here looking comfortable at the moment. It looks like Coldclough is back in, and once again Coldclough, of course, one of our fastest female riders out there. Looks like Lloyd is in this group as well. The GCN rider putting in a great ride on Tuesday as well, and Lloyd is in the group, Coldclough in this group. And if you are a good bunch rider, you're going to be able to stay in with this group, but this group has already been whittled down. If we spin around, you can see behind, they're in ones and twos behind. It's absolutely fraught. There's some serious stem chewing going on there. They're not just going to be taking the anodizing off, they're going to be through the aluminium, because they are really putting the riders behind under pressure. Let's try and drop towards the back of this group. Easier said than done at the moment. And it looks like Rob Copeland, who was on the front all that long ago, is being distanced. The man from Midlothian is trying to pull him back on here, but Rob has to go with him here. And behind Rob, look at the gap that's opened. Andy Bishop is leading the chase. This group, they're only about a second or so behind. They can see the leaders in front, and they've got volume. If the volume go up, Buzzard, Taylor, Durrell goes up. Looks like these Darren is in there. Of course, Darrell, one of our very early riders on the Chaingang. Darrell Tatshaw or Walker in there. And look at this, the group are coming back together. The boys on the front are not doing enough work. There are too many riders, too many passengers. The group is too big, and you will know if you've watched these rides. If it's not the right makeup, it'll reform. And look at the work that is being done here. The absolute beasting here from the front. I can't think of a better word from it. Buzzard is absolutely nailing this to get this back together again. And if we take a little bit of a look back from this group, they can see them coming. It's Buzzard who is trying to close this group down. So we're riding in at the tail end of the lead group. The Chasers have got it down to a second. Now the pace is picking back up again. 51k. So this is it, 3 laps to go at the moment. We're going to be tight on the distance. It's going to be very interesting at the moment. The back of this packet is all held together to go underneath the sprint. Well, the sprint time is going to come down now. Originally it was Millie Skinner leading the women's sprint time. Is Millie going to be our fastest female? Not even close now. 2 seconds taken off that time with Coldclough coming through in this pack. Absolutely nailing it in the Midlothian man there with a 15.12. It shows you, but the group at the back really are pushing now. 1 or 2 riders just about getting back in touch, but they are hovering, and this is so painful behind. They're expending a lot of energy just to get even close to our leading riders. So let's take a little bit of a jump back here. This is that chasing group. Bishop is still in here trying to push on to the back of the group. Looks like Goddard in the danger zone just in front Look at this, how it's in there. Goodman in that, hovering in that gap. This group have to push on. We're going to try and roll in with them at the moment with the drone cam. Now, the strength of numbers that they had, it's been decimated as they came around that turn because they have been distanced, and now this is a much smaller group trying to chase the group in front, and that is why it is opening up. They are shedding rider after rider off the back of this group, and that is going to cause some big problems as they go up and through towards the leading pack. We are going to try and jump up to that pack. Let's jump in with Kieran Smith, one of the riders who we know can take it out for a long one. He can sprint as well. He's good on the hilly courses. He's good on the flat. Now, Matt Gilmore said it's a fast one. We said this was probably going to be one of the fastest Donny Chaingangs that we have ever had, and that is quite simply because this course is incredibly quick. So just taking a little bit of a look down here, and as you can see, the gang here are holding. It is very quick. Coldclough still sitting in this group. Bowley is in here. Paul in here. Jono and Taylor behind are working hard to get the gap down, but they're now at 8 seconds. You can see them in the distance behind. Now, who is in here who's likely to potentially put an attack in? Well, Tacey would prefer, I'm sure, a much hillier course. Tacey sat in here. He's gone full aero tonight on this course as Harrison Tacey. Gone for the full Darth Vader look there, full all in black, riding what is the fastest combo just about. There's only one combo that's fractionally faster on this course, and that is to have the multicolour disc in that same frame, and it's actually faster than the Zwift concept bike on here as well. This is a really good group. Now, just to put his mind at rest before the sprint, this man in the multicolour green, blue, orange and black jersey. This is my tip for the day today. No pressure, Gareth, but this is the Fat Cyclist. A man who we know has got an FTP of over 400 watts. A man who can sprint and put down some serious big numbers. Russell, by the look of it, on this slight attack, using the hill to his advantage, pushes up onto the front. Now, is anybody going to start to go clear? This is where they can put those big sprinters in trouble. And at the moment, it looks to me, Gilmore right up there. Sawyer putting in 7.4 at the moment. And Sawyer sitting in with them. But it looks to me like Riley going to be rolling round into the front of this group. So it's Riley who is on the very front here. So Riley from Fraser. So Cam Fraser in there. Ollie Sawyer in here. Dryber's in here, McHenry's in here, everybody is pushing on, trying to get them through, and they're just coming past our red beacon. The bus trying to grab a little bit of draft on the way through. Now, this is really hard work for the bus, because what happens is, as the group goes through, it gives draft to whoever's on the front of the bus, and the guy on the front of the bus the driver has to back off, but our red beacon's certainly knowing exactly what to do there, and they're now going to start catching riders on the way through, and this is what is going to make it very entertaining, because it does mix up this group. It means all of a sudden the guys on the front of this group have a draft to hold, and it pushes the speed up some more, and these guys are absolutely nailed at the moment. It is sitting around about the 5.5 watts per kilo on the front here. And just watching Hutchinson now. Hutchinson's going for a very long one. If he thinks he can do it with about 2.5 laps to go, he may well just be wanting to thin that group down. Let's take a little bit of a look and see where it's going to be. It is not doing too much damage. There are one or two riders being distanced. We're going to try and take a look into this group. Joey Walker's still in here for sure. Looks like one of our big sprinters in. Rob Copeland is in here. He's not the biggest guy, but he has got a heck of a sprinter when it goes for it. Looks like Matlock in the group as well. Gilmore has been putting in some phenomenal rides, the youngster in here. And let's just take a look at this youngster. He's a man to watch out for in that blue, dark blue and light blue Training Peaks jersey. The tool of choice of people like Dean Downing, head coach at Downing Cycling. And at the moment, everybody's trying to stay in there. We're just trying to see if we can see, yep, Gareth Mason definitely in this group as well. Foreman in here. He's usually a rider who prefers it when it's a little bit hillier. Chris Hilbert is in here. Now let's take a little bit of a look. We're going to come round this turn here. Who's going to be on the front? I think it is going to be Gilmore pretty much holding this together in the group. And looking good. McNamara is in here as well. Everybody wants to be on the front as they keep on pushing here. Now we said Keith Richardson was going to be up in touch, and Richardson at the moment leading them along as they come through in towards the finish. Matlock right in touch, Gilmore right in touch now. 2 laps to go, and looks like it's going to be very tight indeed for the distance. So Richardson now being absorbed into that group. And if we take a little bit of a look up, you can just see it is going to be a very interesting run. There are still riders trying to push this on. Gilmore, the youngster, a rider who is much lighter than the rest, just trying to stretch them out, not letting it drop too far down. This is an incredibly quick group. Remember, we'll go back to try and focus on everybody as we go through. Gilmore pushing on there, but now just coming over the top comes the man from Sigma Sport. So it's Sigma Sport rider Cameron Fraser there, and it looks like Chris Iredale in the hunt here. Remember, Iredale is going to be the man who is responsible for that Velaskin giveaway, and guess what, he cannot just sort the legs out with the barm. He can get the legs in gear and doing some serious riding here, kicking out 300 watts, and Iredale just sat in the grey and orange of the Velaskin colours, which handily happened to match Swift as well. Now he's in this group shadowing in the wheels, not doing too much work, and I think Zoe Riley just going to see the group come charging past. Keep riding, Zoe, going well at the moment. So let's just take a little bit of a look. Matlock sat in this group. Harrison Tacey sat in here as well. Joey Walker not putting his nose out into the wind too much at the moment as these riders continue to hoover up riders who have got plenty more laps to go here. But Richardson now pushing over on towards the front, and all these riders are keeping the pace really high as well. We're just going to try and jump in with McNamara, because McNamara we know will be up near the front. Here he is right on the very head, but not for long as everybody continues to push in over the top of him. You can see how quickly you get mobbed. Even doing decent watts, you soon run from the front to the back of this pack, and it's dangerous to be on the pack. You can't get off the throttle too much. We're just riding in with McNamara, and he's got himself back into the group here, but you can see behind Bowley just starting to push up, but Joey Walker is rolling around on the back here and not doing too much work at the moment as they continue to push on. McNamara now goes through to the front. He's determined to keep the pace high. He doesn't want to be dragging the sprinters and making it too easy. He's trying to keep them working on the way into the finish. And of course, McNamara, not one of our youngest riders. We do always call him youthful, but he is actually older than he looks. The Peter Pan of the Donny Chaingang, that is for sure. So Walker and Downing all together. It is very tight in here now. Have any alliances been done? Has anybody been getting the sprinters to cough up? And at the moment it is going to be very interesting to see who keeps the pressure on as we go up onto this. It looks to me like Joey Walker's just gone for a little bit of a run up the front. We're just trying to work our way back up. Once again, it is Joey Walker who's stretched his legs out there, and Dryberg's gone with him. Dryberg now going up onto the front. So Dryberg is who is at 7.9. He's the rider on the left of your screen with the blue Zwift concept bike. Then it's Walker behind with the orange concept bike. Then it's the blue of Cam Fraser of the Sigma Sport team. Behind it, then you just see Riley pulling in Gilmore, Iredale, and Gilmore coming with them. So these three haven't made a substantial enough gap. The rest are working. It's more than that 6 meters, but there is still volume in that pack, and they are going to close this group of three down. So that move of Walker not coming to anything that time round. The 4 leaders are going to be pulled back, and they are closing down on more of our riders out on circuit. They're going to see the leaders coming through. Remember, it's going to be 1 lap to go when they hit the line. This time round, it'll be 1 lap left to go. So Bartlett now comes to the front. Bartlett's been rolling around comfortably in this group. So will Bartlett be the rider who's going to do the damage this time through? Now, I think it's going to be very tricky indeed to predict who is going to take this at the moment. Bartlett leading them down. Walker doing the chasing behind. So Walker now coming over the top there. Driver right in the group. If we go up above these riders, just take a little bit of a look back. It was strung out, but it hadn't broken. Let's zoom out a little bit here. And you just see, it looks to me like a group of about 4 riders just being passed on the way down. Let's just keep an eye on who is in trouble out near the back of the group here. They can't afford to let that go, and it looks like Ed Bowley at the moment is in this group. So Bowley at the moment being dropped off the pace here. Adams and Potts as well. Looks like Copeland the same. Copeland now struggling to stay with this group, and it looks like it has broken up a little bit here. So Bowley now pushing only a few watts per kilo as he rolls his way in, and he's got to keep on pushing up. Rob Copeland definitely has seen the danger. Copeland is here as they come up towards the line. It is 1 lap left to go. 1 lap left to go here on the Donny Chaingang. So 1 more lap left to go. This is it, guys. You've got to be pushing. The Barnsley Barrel is going to sprint in through. 1 more lap left to go. So Copeland sat on the back of Adams. Barrel setting a new PB of 16 seconds. Harrison at Stacey looks to me like he is one of our riders sat at the back. He's the back of the group. You can see that gap back to Copeland has really opened up now. Look at that. It's all over for the guys behind. Is anybody going to be able to stay in with this group to the end? Is it going to be a one bunch sprint finish from these guys? You can see Matlock is in here, Archie Allen in here. Allen, one of the younger riders in this group, sat at the back there and just rolling around, not doing too much work, riding smart at the moment. Kieran Smith in there. Good to see so many youngsters in this pack at the moment, and you can just see everybody now being quite cagey about this. Russ is cagey about it as well. You can see Russ not doing too much work. For somebody who said he wasn't feeling it tonight, he's fueled by OTE gels tonight to keep the lace going. Let's hope he's got the timing right and doesn't go pop. But he is that, and the Speculoos sandwich. He's just hanging on. He says, I don't know how you've got the energy tight, mate. I really don't. I'd be falling off the bike if I even thought about it. Now, let's just jump in with Mr. Mason. Let's have a little look at his heart rate. He's a big guy, so his heart rate should be really low. It's 166, so he's working a bit here, not too hard. We'll see whether he is going to be able to take this out. They're 4-5 wide across the road here, and again, nobody putting in too much of an effort. Driver moving up as well. Now Foreman in this group, Stewart in here as well. It really is a big, packed out group here. Who has got the pace? This is going to be really interesting. This is our leading group. Now, Russ reckons he's going to be out the back. I don't believe that for a second. Neither should you. He always says that, but then he's in, magically gets himself up to the front. He's, like they say, class is permanent. And certainly is in Russ's case out on the ride at the moment. So just keeping an eye on these riders. And looks to me like this group rolling around well together. McNamara in here. Stewart, though, doing a lot of work up on the front of the group. Richardson in there. Gilmore sitting in here. It is a really, really tight. Russ, yeah, you did. I know it's getting to you, mate, but you did say the go, go, go. So here we go. Chris Idell on the front, just continuing to push on. Russ taking it onto the front as we expected, but here we go. Joey Walker is on the wheels of Russ, and it's a move from Walker, and Russ giving him a really good lead out there, but Walker has gone early here. Remember, we've got half a lap left to go. Walker has gone hard. He must have hoped he was going to get somebody to go with him, and they've not come with him at the moment. He's on his own, so it's one man against the bunch. Has Walker got enough in here? Remember, Chris Walker, of course, known for his aggressive riding. Joey Walker doing exactly the same, and Joey with the national champs crit jersey racing his way around and through these guys. Don't forget, national champs jersey, Ben Swiss jersey, up for grabs if you're a member of the gang. Not up for grabs tonight is that title, but Joey Walker might as well thought it was. He went very, very hard in the hope of breaking this group up, and you can see behind, it strung it out, but it has not broken it up, and it's going to be Dryberg who's going to come through, lead the chase behind through. We're going to come to where the handle starts. We're just coming towards the end of the shovel at the moment on that shovel-shaped course, and this is where we're going to make the junction. You're going to see the road coming in. We come around this roundabout, and this is where the road comes in from the right and joins up together now. Looks like Russ's group is now detached, so Russ's group now detached, and that means that Cameron Fraser is in a group just working behind. He's just on the back of this pack, so is Mason, as we're now onto this panhandle section, just rolling in with Mason at the minute now. Walker has done one effort, he's back in this group. Driver's closed it down, he's still in this group. Young Gilmore's in here, Matlock's in here. Is Matlock going to get what must be, I think, his first victory out on the chain gang from this group here? Hutchinson is in this group as well. Everybody rolling this round, but who is saving their energy? Remember, this is where the leader's going to come from. Down in his group now at 8 seconds. So the bear has been tamed and been put in his place. He's in the second group on the road, and it means that the hounds are going to be left to play on their own. There's no chasing the bear. Let's see how they get on. It is going to be McNamara on the front in here. Stewart has been off the front. Bartlett's been working hard as well off the front here. Nobody wanting to lead this out at the moment because they've got to get round that turn. It's a very quick run in, that is for sure. So round they go. This is the run in for the finish, and there's been a very quick move here from Ellen. So it looks to me like Archie Ellen has gone early here. Hutchinson on the very, very front here. He's got a little bit of a gap here. Has he got enough? Hutchinson's gone early. The gantry's coming. Is he going to make it? It's going to be incredibly close. It's going to be tight. Here comes the fast cyclist. Gareth Mason is coming. Mason rolls him on the lights, and Mason takes it from Hutchinson. Oh my goodness, that was so close. And look at the times. Oh, it's 12 seconds. How have they gone through there so fast? 12.25 seconds. That has got to be a record as they came in and through the line. I have not seen those times in any of the races I've been in on this circuit. They have been absolutely nailing it on the way round here. These riders making the way through the line here. Last little run in as we see Tacey, then Varty, Woodall going through. Then it is going to be Joe O'Neill coming through. It's going to be our next rider in to the finish. We've got a group behind who are going to be heading back out again, so it's going to be Sawyer who's going to be our next rider in. The camera just trying to drop back, and Sawyer who's going to come through the line. Our next rider coming through, just going in ahead of the group behind. Then it's going to be Booth, going to be our next rider who's going to finish. I think he's just going to get Bowley on the line here. Bowley's going to get rolled, and Booth it is who is going to get this. So Booth is taking the next sprint on the way through, so it's going to be Booth, and then Bowley going to come through behind, then Calcutt, Potts and Thomas go through. Charlotte Colclough is going to be, I think, the first of our female finishers, and Colclough comes through. That's 16.29 fastest time, an absolutely phenomenal time. So Colclough yet again doing the business. That power meter shows she's dropped right down the pace there to 91 watts, and I'm not surprised. Now behind it's going to be Going to be Morgan Lloyd coming through. It is to finish. Then the next chase coming through. So it looks like it's going to be a massive group coming in and through. Luke coming through. Luke Taylor in there. Craig Genther in that group. James in there. Goddard coming through to finish with Smith. Craig Herring sprinting through to just take that group. We are going to work our way back as fast as we can to try and get behind these riders. But you can see all these riders finishing. It is incredibly quick out here, faster than we can make our way in and out of the finish. So I think Neil from the Crosscast and Pretty Gritty just finishing his ride out on the circuit and just coming through to finish, and Pretty Gritty back on board with us in March as well, which is great to see. Vin Donahue coming through. Looks like Thomas Crapper sprinting his way in, just in with Cornish at the moment. It's a really quick night tonight. Everybody is sprinting in to try and take those to come in and through the line. Looks like Conor McGuigan going in and through. Massive bunch of riders yet again coming in through that finishing line together, and we said it was going to be really quick tonight. It certainly is. Just in with Kushak, who's got one more lap to go. Let's jump in with somebody I know very well, because I think this is going to be Fletch on his way in. So Dave Fletcher pushing towards the line. Good to see David out on the bike, and Fletcher finishing as he comes in and across the line. This time we're going to drop back. Our next finisher I think is Broadhead. So Broadhead, then it's going to be Mason and Bishop, if we've got our maths right. We are going to have to tell you a bit of a double check. This is going to be our next group coming in towards the finish. Let's get up above them if we can. This is the sprint in. It's another massive pack of riders going to be pushing for the line here. Everybody trying to keep themselves right up at the front. Looks like Lysis is working hard here. And Gary Lysis, of course, one of our fantastic club members, goes through and pushing all the way to the line there. Look at the number of personal bests coming in and through towards the line. Just in with Mason now, so Mason just pushing for the line. So it's going to be Mason in next, and just going to be rode, I think, just by Bishop as they come in towards the gantry there. Then it's going to be Mark Inman. So Inman, our next rider, coming in to the line. So it's going to be Inman in next, ahead of Brooks and Steed. Steed putting the pressure on now. Steed's going to be our next rider coming in, and I think it is going to be Steed who's going to get this. He's got a little bit of a gap from a big pack behind, and it's going to be Johnson who's going to be leading that next pack home. So Steve comes in through the gantry. Next up is going to be Johnson. Johnson trying to hold off Reaney. He's having to kick again. He does. He just holds off Reaney. So it's Carl Johnson, then Reaney. Claire Gagan putting in. That is another phenomenal ride by Gagan. Yet again coming through, doing the business. Fryer coming through top list. Ted, Hall, Shade, Fryer. The worst, it really is busy out there tonight. So Steed is in and through, and just keeping an eye on Coleman. So Dan Coleman, after working his proverbial what's-its off, has now got a little roll in towards the line. Well done, Dan. He worked really hard in the early stages of the ride, and had looked after riders, getting a fantastic workout, and one of the real heroes of the Chaingang. Good to see Coleman back in action once again. So behind, we're going to jump in with Davis and Ball, who are coming round the corner here. Now these guys are going to be going out. They are going to have one lap to go when they hit the line this time. One lap to go, guys, when you hit the line this time. So you have one more lap for Davis, one more lap for Cookie, Foxy, Carling. All of the group here have one more lap left to go out on circuit, and we're going to follow them in over the line when they get there. But at the moment, just riding in with Davis, who sat in with this group. Now let's take a drop back. I think Mason is going to be leading the next group, so we're going to watch these guys in through the line. One more lap to go, guys, here. Fantastic group out on circuit. So guys, one more lap to go. Behind then, Mason at the moment at the front of this group. They weren't lapped by our leaders as they came round. They had managed to stay clear of the leaders, putting in a great ride. And at the moment, it is Mason who's leading. Now, a quick reminder, guys, if you're enjoying the rise, make sure you join the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. We need you to join. Upgrade, it's 20 quid for a month, or that gets you all of the links direct to your inbox. It means you don't have to join ride after ride. You just get the links and just go straight in on Swift. As these guys come in, Mason trying to hold off the guys here, and looks like Stone could just have got it there. It's not, it's Hughes. Hughes just rolling him online, so good ride there by Hughes. Hughes from Mason. Robertson and Scotland, Forrester coming in as well. A real who's who, and we're just trying to roll our way back through these riders. It's a little bit tricky because there are a number of riders out on course, just making the way into the finish, and we've got to try and make sure we get to the right spot. Always entertaining. It may well be that this is going to be our next riders on circuit. It is. Just taking a look on that map view, you can just see me flicking around, just making you a little bit dizzy. We can make you even dizzier, believe me. If we go with the drone cam, we zoom right in on our riders. Prepare to be dizzy here, because this is the problem that we have. Yeah, we're going to make you dizzy, just what you don't need. A bit like riding on a velodrome the wrong way around. So Colin Bell on his way in here, Beefy from Cycleways. Now being pushed slightly off the front there. It's going to be John Paul Wheater with the Zwift concept bike here. This could be a really interesting sprint for the line this time, because they've also got Beatty on board. Now Beatty is one of our quick riders, that is for sure. Is he going to be quick enough to hold these guys off when they come into the line? That's the question. Will it be Bell who holds them at bay, or will it be John Paul Wheater? So will JP be able to do it? We are going to roll in with JP, member of the DCG gang. And we'll roll with Wheater. Wheater needs to give it a kick now. Here they come. Beatty's pushing hard behind. Wheater's going to time this right. Oh, he's got nothing left in those legs. There's nothing left for Wheater. And it looks like Wheater's just going to be taken here. Beatty is going to take this as they come into the line. It is. It's Beatty who gets this. Wheater just keeps the kick. Just rolls in ahead of Bell there. Fantastic riding, guys. Great to see all of our riders pushing it in to the line. We're going to drop back to David Hopkinson. Hopkinson at the moment just ahead of Joe Jarvis. Jarvis out for another day out from the office. The road she knows so well, an ex-resident of the area. And that is Joe Jarvis coming through. So good riding, Joe. And then Duggan coming in, the rider behind. So Duggan coming in the third of those riders behind. Then it is going to be McNeil. McNeil ahead of our next rider, who could well be heading in. I think that is going to be Hardy, and then Grant and Bolt. Let's see if Russ is in the land of the living whilst we've got a few seconds. Russ, are you alive, mate?
Yeah, slightly. Just maybe. I don't know the answer, really.
That's always a good answer. That's what we like to hear. You've been having a hard time out on the circuit. It was very rapid, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like I say, it was on the limit, and then I thought, the only part to maybe break them on the last bit, I went with an attack, but exactly the same moment when Joey Walker went, so we were both just drag racing at the front, and yeah, I was only playing for the cameras. He was going for the win. I was on the win. That was my last effort, and I just getting a message there from Matt Gilmore. He absolutely loved it there. He was giving out some poker banter, I think, there. He was just like, egging people on, but that's what it's about. We all had such a great fun day, and just watching the stream there, some of the people that are finishing not far behind the front group, week in, week out, they're making improvements, which is
This is Mark Grant on here. The guy's really is making big improvements. You talk about big improvements. Mark Grant, who's a member of the DCG gang, he has improved so much, because there was a time when he was last man on the road and we were following him minutes and minutes down on the group on the Red Beacon. Look at the pace he's come through. He's finished that. He set a new PB on the way through of 18 seconds on the sprint. What a ride. And that's what the Chain Gang's doing, isn't it? We're seeing rider after rider improving.
And that's what we wanted all the way from the start. It was to encourage people to ride with some of the fast guys, and we're not all superhuman. Some of them are, some of them are just absolute machines, but we can all get to, as we see Martin Bolt, now across the finish line. he'd have still been out there next week at the start. He was that steady away. But, he's got his fitness up. He's got the idea of what the game's all about, and it's win-win for these guys, and they're absolutely loving it.
Brilliant. It's really good to see. Good to see Joe Munden in here and Kushak in here. Lots of our riders who rode the women's yesterday out and riding again today. I think there's some sore legs from the women because that was fast as well. So some really fast rides already out on circuit. It is incredibly quick out there.
Yeah, I think I might have a day off tomorrow.
I don't blame you, mate. I really don't. That is for sure.
I turn my phone off as well.
It's steady. Steady. Do we ever get to do that? I'm not sure that we do. So yeah, we got a lot. Don't you tell your phone? We've got loads to do tomorrow. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. There's some looks like some tech from tonight. The drone cam flying. Apologies if you got a jumpy picture at times. Looks like there have been one or two interesting issues. We've done a big rejig of the studio and of the hardware and the software, and we're still finding the odd glitch, but hopefully overall you're finding a big improvement. Russ and I have got lots of people to talk to because of course the DCG gang has got a whole load more new discounts coming your way. Lots of great giveaways, and we've got to get all those nailed down before we email our members of the DCG gang on Saturday. And Russ, the gang members are superb, aren't they?
Yeah, we're just trying so hard to give those gang members get little perks and informations back and things like that. So we're working on that. We better build some routes for next week in the morning as well. So I'm turning my phone off tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, definitely. To tell you what, you do that. I'm going out on the bike first thing. I've not ridden it all week because I've been too busy in the studio and trying to stitch everything together. So I think my turn for a bike ride. You can do some. You can do a little bit of this. I'll do a bit of the pro stuff.
I have a weekend off then. A weekend off.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Listen, Russ, you get those legs recovered. Good to catch up at the end of the ride. We're going to follow our riders in because our red beacon's not all that far away.
Good work, Matt, and see you later, mate.
See you later. So good to hear from Russ, and indeed it's not all that long before the riders are going to be coming in. Big sprint here from John Smith from outside of Smitty on his way in towards the line here underneath the gantry. He goes going well, but really neat. Yeah, Mr. Knapp, if you read your notes as a member of the gang, you'll always know, or you go on the Facebook page and read the description, we always finish at fixed point, and that is because we use a fixed gantry because, as you can see, the distances vary for everybody. And here we go, sprinter from the Red Beacon group here. And I think it's going to be Davis who's going to get this. Davis has got the power up. He saved it as well. That's some power here. So it is going to be Davis taking it from Foxy. Foxy in front of our Red Beacon ball. And then it is going to be Miss Cookie coming in and through. So Cookie comes in and through and doing a great job, of course. Chris Ball, our Red Beacon, doing a fantastic job of shepherding that group home. Looks like Rob Carling just distanced on the last few metres on the way in towards the line. So just in with Carling here. And Rob Carling going to come across the line. So as always, we have the roll down to do towards the finish on the Chaingang. The Red Beacon's bus doing a great job out there on the course. So as our riders finish and roll their way towards the warm down, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's ridden. Great riding tonight, some great teamwork on the way round. Absolutely big hero marks to everybody who finished that tonight. It was the fastest chain gang. We're going to look at the speeds, but I suspect the fastest chain gang we have ever had. And of course, make sure, guys, you join the DCG gang, the supporters club, the people who keep the show on the road. And as a thank you, we give you loads of exclusive giveaways, discount codes. Next month, if you use all the discount codes, you could have ridden and been a member of the chain gang, the DCG gang, for free, because there are so many discounts coming your way. Great offers, giveaways as well. We've got giveaways from OTE coming out to the members. We've got giveaways from Velaskin going to the members. We've got giveaways from Halo going to the members. We've got big discounts coming out from people, everybody from Pretty Gritty right the way through to Grand Tour Coffee to Halo. Make sure you're in the gang. The only way to access those and get the links delivered direct to your inbox is to join the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. Be part of the gang, make it happen, keep enjoying the race. Have a great weekend. If you remember, watch out for the email coming in to your inbox over the weekend with all the details of the first week in March and OTE week here on the Donny Chaingang. We'll be bringing you it live, myself, Matt Payne, run you through all of the action on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. So from all of us who have been working on the ride this week, from our red beacons, from Emma, our women's beacon and ride leader, from Russ, the yellow beacon, time for me to open a bottle of Duval. Got the beers ready, end of a busy week. We'll see you for the next Donny Chaingang on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel.